Hi, I'm Penny from Sew Chill Sewing Studio. I'm going to give you a tour today on my two studios. Yes, I do have two studios in my home. This is the one in the basement. This is not the one that I filmed from because it's just not cute. You know, it's more of a workhorse kind of place. But there are a lot of good features, a lot of things I can do down here. It's an unfinished basement, which we like that because it keeps it cooler. And so if you ever just get kind of warm upstairs, like my sewing room upstairs is pretty warm. It faces south and it just gets warm in there. And I've got a fan going, I've got the air conditioner going, but you know, it is what it is. It's just the placement of the room. So this one down here, my husband kind of carved out a space. It's a huge space. These are 9 by 12 rugs, and I have two of them in here. So that kind of gives you an idea of how large this space is. So no, I have the 12 this way. So it's 18 by 12. And I can even like push it out a little bit further even. So I want to kind of give you a tour. We'll walk around and I'll show you some of my different areas, what I do with them, what I'm planning on doing with them, and kind of how I organize. And then once we're finished here, we'll go upstairs and I'll show you the pretty one. All right, so I'll just kind of give you an overview of the room. I do use it as storage. So it has a lot of things. It has my candle making spot. I just put that back out. I made a lot of candles for 2 or 3 years, and then there was just a lot of stuff going on, and I just kind of put that shop up. So I have a ton, and I have them kind of broke up into winter and fall and just kind of miscellaneous. I have a lot of nice scents here that I get mainly from Lone Star Candle Science because I like how clean they are. And when I do make candles, it is with soy wax, so it's all clean. So that's kind of my little spot there, but it's not my sewing spot. So let's kind of pan around so you can just kind of get the idea of the room. And you'll notice I have this really large table. I love this table. It's too big for the space upstairs, but it's perfect down here. Soon I'm going to get my free motion quilt table, and that's going to go here. And then I'll just bring my Juki baby lock down here and quilt my quilts that way. I don't have a long arm, so I'm doing this instead, but I just cleared off this space. So when it comes, I'll get it all set up. I just got to figure out how to get it the uh, to the electricity. I'll figure that out, or my husband will. Speaking of my husband, he did put these lights in, and it really helps. At first, we just kind of had the one, and then I do have these two. These two don't really do a whole lot. I might have him put in a larger one there. But I like a lot of space, a lot of light in my space. Even though I have this full size window, it doesn't get a lot of sun. You know, it just doesn't. There's a fence up there. Is this like a 6 foot window well? So it just, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and come around. I did get these from Container Store, and they hold a lot of fabric. And you can see I've got ribbons and thread, and I have it pretty well organized in here so I know where to get, if I'm looking for something. Now up here, I do have a cover stitch machine. I don't use it a lot, but when I do knit garments, that's when it comes in handy. So I just kind of keep it over here, and I should really cover it up just a little bit more because it gets dusty, and maybe that'll help. And just kind of, we'll just leave it. I'll fix it in a little bit. And you can tell, here, I mean, it's raw. it's a basement. And I have this little screen, and it covers up some of the utility stuff. I think our hot water heater's behind there. And then I just have an old rocking chair that I rocked all my babies in a long time ago, and I still have it. I just can't give it up. And so sometimes I come down and I just kind of sit and chill and, you know, scroll on social media and just kind of have a good time. So that's why I brought that chair in. Now over here is my baby lock machine, and I have several different machines, and I've recently upgraded to my Juki, which is upstairs, but this is still a great machine. Highly recommend it. It's this Baby Lock Soprano. So it has a lot of features on it that I don't even know everything that it does, but I'm learning, and I've had it, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. So I just got it back from the shop, and it's doing great. And it's just, when I'm piecing, I'm making a quilt or something, I'll usually come downstairs and work on that one. I do want to kind of show this little gal, XOXO Charlie. I just love her. I love watching her. And so I did go ahead and purchase one of her items, and it's just really cute. I love doing that. All right, so over here, I have all my rulers. I even have one of my quilt boards here when I'm doing a block. Now in the back is my Juki MO5 or 654 DE. Is basically, it's a serger. And I love Juki. The first Juki I had, it was the green one. I had it for 40 years. So I figured if it lasted that long, I'm going to replace it with another model. So it's just a pain to thread, but what serger isn't? So, and then I decided this used to just kind of be a little computer area. I took the computer off and just put my cutting board over here. I do, sometimes I'll watch some TV, so I'll turn on a movie or whatever. I did have this used to be my cutting area, but I've kind of switched things around since this is going to be my quilting area. I went ahead and moved one of these mats here, and another one is upstairs, which we'll see in a little bit. Now over here is kind of my pressing station. I do love my iron. It has a reservoir, so I don't have to fill it up that often. There's my old one. I haven't turned that one on in a long time, but I just kind of keep all my ironing supplies right here. And then I've got my Cricut heat press, which I did use today. I'm working on a project. And then, of course, you got to have a printer. And then I have my Cricut. And then all of my supplies for my candles. And I have my mom's china back there and some wrapping paper. So I just have a lot of hodgepodge down here. But I do love this space. It's nice and bright. And I keep trying to organize it more and more just so I want to be down here. Most of the time I'm upstairs just because of sunlight. And also my husband has a music studio down here. This is a large basement, and it's all one space. And so he has a music studio back there behind all of our gym equipment. And then he also has a little man cave down here. So it's huge. It's an 1,800 square foot basement, and I love it. It's a lot bigger than what we had before. Now I did make these curtains because everybody's got stuff to store, right? Well, one day I'm going to organize this. I've got ideas. I just haven't done it. It's just not in the priority list. But I decided to cover it up with curtains. And I do like that. I got this fabric from Hobby Lobby. It's a 108. It's 108 inches wide. And I think each panel is 3 yards because we have 9-foot ceilings down here. And I had thought about bringing it all the way around just to kind of encompass, and we've never had a basement with all of this insulation. So I don't know if it's a good thing, but this house is only 3 years old. So I guess that's the way they do things now. So I'm thinking about it. Let me know if you think that's a good idea, or if, this is good enough. I had also thought about getting Billy shelves from IKEA and running along here. There's just so many ideas because there's no walls down here, and probably won't put any just because you're kind of confined when you have walls. And sometimes I do move this space out a little bit. I have the option right now. I just kind of have some stuff over here that I don't know what to do with, but that I will pull out every now and then. I think we all kind of have that kind of stuff. So this is my basement sewing room. and candle making room and printing room. And I mean, you just name it, I do it down here. And I do love it. It's just not cute for filming. And also, when my husband is playing music, we kind of conflict with each other. It's not a good filmmaking kind of room. But I am very thankful that I've got it and I'm not giving it up. So now let's go ahead and go upstairs and I will show you the smaller studio. It is out of a bedroom and you'll see the difference right away. All right, so this is the upstairs bedroom, or one of them, and I turned it into a guest room slash sewing studio. This is my filming studio because as you can see, this light, this huge window in the front of the house, and it faces south, it brings in a lot of light. It does get warm in here, so I have a fan going, and it only has one register for air conditioning. So it has a hard time in the summertime, but it's not too bad. It's a little warmer than the rest of the house, but it works. So let me take you around and I'll show you each station, and you'll probably recognize some things if you've watched some of my videos as to where it is. And I'm constantly moving furniture around just to find that sweet spot. All right, so right here is a desk. It was my middle daughter's desk growing up, so it was just wood, and I painted it with chalk paint, this blue, several years ago when we were at the old house. And I don't know, I just like it. It just gives a little rustic um, look to it. It's usually my computer space, but sometimes I will put my sewing machine over here too. I'll just move the computer out of the way and move it over, and you'll see why in just a minute. But it's a nice large desk, and it's got some drawers for just odds and ends that I know where to look for things. Now over here is really my cutting mat, and today I have my Juki on top of it. I've been sewing, making an Etsy order right over here. So I'm working on an Etsy order, and I just went downstairs to make some labels, and I was going to put the label on the inside just like that and stitch it on, and then I can go ahead and put it together, and then I'll get that sent out. But right now, um, it's a sewing machine on top, but here's that other mat that you saw downstairs, and I love this size. I started using a smaller size up here, and it just was too small. So I thought, I've got an extra one downstairs. Really, you only use one at a time, unless you're sewing garments, which I don't do a lot anymore. And I brought it up here, and it's just perfect for this table. So this table, I did get it at IKEA not too long ago. I think it was like $130, something right around there, but it's nice and large and it works great. So then I can store, I've got my embroidery machine down there. Then I pull it out when I need it. And then I've got these drawers. This little drawer set was downstairs. I don't know if I got it at IKEA or Michael's. I've had it so long, but I use it all the time, and now it has my embroidery supplies in there. And then over here, this was in my old house. I have four of them, and in my old sewing room, I had them kind of all lined up because I had a much bigger room there, but I only had one studio. I had them all lined up and used for extra counter space. I don't have that space in here because this is like a 10 by 12 room. So it's just an average size bedroom. And I put my fabrics that I'm working on in here. I've got, all of my zipper tapes and Juki supplies and things. And I bought this at a local quilt shop. Look at this. It is a rotating ironing board. I don't use it a lot, but I will say, it does come in handy for some projects. And I went ahead and got a regular size ironing board. I was using just a tabletop, and I kept, whatever I was here, I'd have to move it off, and I was always moving it back. And I thought, I really need one. So I went to Walmart and grabbed this guy. And it's been the best thing because now I kind of have this little U shape going, like in your kitchen, if you have that kitchen triangle. Well, the same thing works in sewing, I'll tell you. And you just kind of want to have things at your fingertips and not too awkward of a space to go. And you'll see I do have a bed in here. It's just a little twin size. There is a trundle underneath, so we can, makeshift some things, move things around and pull it out. And so two people can sleep in here, which has happened. Um, so my grandson does love this room. But I did take the TV out, so we kind of pushed him off to the other spare bedroom, which I think he likes a little bit better. It's a little cooler in there. So this is my filming studio, and it's never perfectly clean. That's for sure. I'm always working on it though. I'm really trying to clean up after every project, but I'm not super good at that. I do have a full-size closet in here that I need to utilize more. Right now, I I don't have a lot of organizational things in here. So it's just kind of a hodgepodge of things. And there's my other ironing board. I really need to get some shelves and utilize the space just a little bit better. So I hope this gave you some ideas on how to rearrange some of your sewing spaces. Let me know in the comments. Do you have a large room? Some people that I see on social media, oh my gosh, they have the dream. Mine is just practical. It's not really designed to be a showstopper. I do kind of like how things look in here, but I'll always change it up. I'd love to see your space, whether it's just a kitchen table, I've done that too, that works, or you've got a big studio in the basement like I do. A finished basement would be nice for that, just aesthetically, but I do like the coolness in the summer. It kind of stays like 67 degrees year round. So that's why we just don't finish it. Maybe someday we will, but right now we kind of like it that way. So let me know in the comments what you think. Maybe you have an idea of what I can do differently. I know I can go up on the wall with things, but it just kind of evolves as I get an idea. So thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.